that is not all. I mean, one of the interesting things is the sort of, production of a lot of aesthetic, symbolic objects during the demonstration, for example. So there is a lot of detail work, ethnographic work, and also on the ground cultural performances and practices that could be investigated richly, so to speak. But at the sort of individual level, and I think also that is fairly important, at the level of individual youth, the structure of feeling right now, the kind of precariousness that they carry with them around the whole time. And this is actually, again, I mean, it's an area where you begin to see manifestation in cultural practices. Recently, one of our colleagues on the journal, Andy Wang, had written his own explanation of the sunflower movement is quite interesting, because a lot of the older civil society activists complained about how these young demonstrators are unorganized and not interested in power. So what are they doing? And absolutely don't understand, the kind of motivation behind the demonstrations, because the old activists tend to think in long term, tend to think in terms of replacing the state, tend to think in terms of occupying power structures to do things. Whereas in the current context, that doesn't seem to be the case. So in defense of, and the young who protested are very conscious of the fact that they don't have fixed goals, and that they are not, going to achieve, a revolution. But what Andy's suggestion is very interesting, and you see this in Taiwan pop culture production, is that because the future is so unthinkable, and the terms, because the future is so unthinkable, and in Taiwan so bogged down with, with the sort of two-party unifications and independentist struggle. If you watch Taiwan TV, is ad nauseum, it's just screaming at each other across the aisle. So it's so unthinkable that they've developed this idea of holding on to little assured pleasures. Just existentially, this is what we have, even if it's just hanging out at cafes, that's what we're going to do. I mean, so in the same sense, it's kind of it's always about these little victories, and then after that just disappear as quickly as they mount. And you actually see this quite, so the kind of immediate existential interest is replacing what we conventionally understand as civil society politics. Now, how do we work with this? What is, if there's if the interest is not in long term, we need a whole new conceptual framework to understand this. And you see this in Taiwan movies a lot. In the last 5 or 6 years, the really popular Taiwan movies are almost always very small stories of romance between late high school and the transition period between high school and university years. They were together as schoolmates and about to go their own ways, and the kind of sentiments that built around there. And it's extremely popular, and so this notion of the small and personal and highly personal has become a formula and to a certain extent a metaphor of their current condition. And there's even suggestion that there are Hong Kong people who are so tired of Hong Kong politics and seeing no future. They are going to Taiwan to sort of at least live this small life, at least